Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Edmund Leonard. I'm originally from Macon. I lived in the north in my early years, and we moved back to Macon when I was in the first grade.
Okay. Got family and kids?
Yes, I'm married twice. I was married 12 years the first time.
Yes, sir.
And I've been married 44 years the second time.
All right, so what you think about pickleball here at First Baptist?
I love pickleball at First Baptist. I love the people, first of all,
really?
the fellowship and the friendly greeting they gave me. I'm not a member, and they accepted me as if I were a member.
Absolutely, we do. Absolutely, we do. So that's your pickleball paddle. All right.
And I'm new at pickleball.
How long?
I've been playing since the last of July.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And you already pretty good.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Hey, I think me and my wife play you next. There she is right there. I think we play y'all next.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we do play. I don't know when we meet.
Okay. Mr. Leonard, you don't have to have my same belief system, but I think we started a conversation yesterday, and I would like to just ask you, what's your thoughts about God and the afterlife?
Well, I believe that the afterlife is for the individual.
Okay.
I believe people who believe in that, and it gives them a strong belief system, and if it helps them go through life, I think it's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
And I think each individual should look and study and choose what fits them best.
Yes, sir.
I grew up in the AME church, and
okay.
And then I moved. I went to Iran, and I married a lady from Iran, and
okay.
She was a Muslim.
Okay, she was a Muslim?
She grew up as a Muslim.
Okay.
And I believe religion is basically the religion of your parents. Most people I know, I'm be 81 in November. So,
wow.
And I've learned through my life that most people follow the religion of their parents.
I see.
So religion is just a circumstance of birth. So if you're born to Jewish parents, you're Jewish. If you're born to Christian parents, you're a Christian. If you're born to Muslim parents, you're a Muslim. Yeah. So I don't think just because a person by happenstance is born in another part of the world that they are doomed because of birth.
Hey, you know what? And I appreciate your outlook on that. So what about you specifically? Let's just say today you died. What happens to Leonard's body, soul? What do you think happens to you when you die personally? What do you think is gonna?
Well, my wishes are to be donated to be a cadaver for medical science, and my body parts donated as an organ donor to help other people live further.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, are you an atheist?
No, I wouldn't say I'm an atheist. No, I'm more agnostic. I would say
agnostic. You just don't really know what.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
But I believe that people should find their own comfortable belief system.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me give you four just basic questions that everybody asks, and then I'll share the gospel with you at the end. So
sure.
The four basic questions that everybody asks at some point in their life is, how did human beings come into existence? So origin. Let me ask you that first. How do you think everything came to be? In your your personal opinion.
I just think they pretty much evolved from one cell animals, and they just progressed through evolution.
So you believe in it that nothing created everything?
I don't think everything has to necessarily be created by someone.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. So what do you think your purpose is?
Well, my individual purpose now is as the patriarch of the family is to provide for the welfare and well-being of the family. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So it doesn't bother you that at some point when you die and your whole family member died, that's the last place you ever see them again? This it? This is it?
Basically, yeah.
That don't make you.
I just hope they continue on and remember me as I was when I was here.
Do you remember your great-grandfather?
No, I remember my grandmother, and that's as far back as I can go on both sides. I remember my step-great-grandfather.
Right.
I remember both my maternal and fraternal grandmothers.
Do you think your kids will remember your great? They probably won't, would they?
No, yes, they will.
Oh, you'll pass it down.
And my 3 of my daughters are doing through Ancestry, and we have a family tree, and we just had the family reunion. And
cool.
so we went back, and we're going back as far as we can to check our ancestry. And
any specific reason why y'all doing that?
well, we want to stay connected to the ancestors, of course. Yeah.
That's right. That's great. All right, so let me go on to the next question everybody asks. Why do you think the world is so broken and messed up?
Because people are selfish, and they believe in me, and it's too much me, and not try to understand that just because you believe something, your way is the right way.
Right.
Your way doesn't necessarily have to be the right way. I was fortunate enough to live in several countries, and I learned by living in other cultures and other countries that it's not necessarily your way. There are lots of ways.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
as
sir.
long as people can get together and if they treat people as humans and as they would love to be treated,
Right.
it's fine. And don't be so selfish. And some people have low self-esteem.
Yes, sir.
Not knocking. We just had the Queen of England,
Right.
she just died. And people look and say, oh, they looked at her as being better than them. She was no better than anybody else. You see what I'm
100%.
saying?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
people, they look at royalty and say, oh, they're better than me. She was just a lady,
Human
just
being.
like anybody else. She
Human
was a
being.
human being. And if it works for you, that's fine.
Yeah.
Me, I looked through it for myself.
Yes, sir.
I said, no, that's not really true. I can think for myself,
Okay, last question on this worldview, because
Sure.
everybody got to see the world some kind of way.
Yeah.
So what do you think the fix is to a broken world? What do you think is going to fix the things?
I'm being cynical now. I thought when I was younger, I thought, that people could get together and see. But the thing that I really believe is going to happen, what's going to bring it is going to be a common enemy.
Okay.
So I believe there's a huge possibility of other entities in the universe.
Oh.
And I
Like
really,
aliens or something like that? Or?
yeah, well, you
Okay.
call them aliens or whatever.
Whatever you call it, okay.
But I think what's going to happen, since the people on Earth are suspicious, and they always think that anything other than themselves is the enemy. So whatever it is presents itself, they're going to look at it as a threat.
Yeah.
And they're going to come together
Okay.
to form a common bond
Okay.
against what they perceive to be a common enemy.
That's what you think can bring
And that's going to bring them together.
people together?
Yeah.
How did you come up with your belief system?
I think I look at things, I think about it, and I'm very logical, I feel, in my
Yeah, very
thinking.
logical.
And
Yeah.
I just use logic and say, is that logical? Is it logical that a child born to a family that doesn't believe in Christianity should die and go to hell?
Yeah.
No, that's not logical, really, because it's
Okay.
not that child's fault. I just can't believe that.
Yeah, I see
So,
what you're saying.
and so I look at everything from a logical point of view
Yeah.
and say, well, that's just not logical,
Yeah. All right, so have you ever studied about what Jesus said about himself or studied the Bible in?
Not really.
Not really?
Just as a kid coming up in Sunday school, as I
Yeah.
said, I grew up in the AME church. My daddy was very religious.
Yes, sir.
He believed, he read the Bible every night.
Yes, sir.
And he was a great man.
Yeah.
And I try to live as my father.
Yeah.
I treat people fine.
Yes,
if I
sir.
can help people or do anything to help my fellow man, I do.
You do it, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't mistreat people.
No.
And so I just try to live as I would want people
to be treated.
I want them to treat me as I, would like to be treated.
Do you know where that statement right there came from?
Sure, it came from the Bible. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I tell you, I grew up
You
in
are.
the AME church.
Well, let me give you what the Bible says about those 4 questions, and just see if this can help add to your worldview. And like I say, I respect what you believe.
Yeah.
And so here's what Jesus said about himself. Jesus says, "I'm the way, I'm the truth, and I'm the life." And he says, "Nobody gets through my Father, or nobody gets to heaven unless they come through me." You know what he's really saying? He's basically saying that any other way to get to heaven is a lie, and he's the only way to get to heaven. Did you know he said that?
Well, I understand it. Yeah, I understand.
So one of 3 things are true. Either he's lying about himself by saying he's the way to get to heaven, or he's a lunatic. Maybe he's just crazy, or he's who he said he is. There's only 3 possible scenarios. historically speaking, Jesus was basically, they crucified him because he was going around saying he was actually God in the human flesh.
Right.
They ultimately killed him for him going around claiming to be God and saying that he was the only way. People did not like Jesus.
Well, because again, he was a threat to their power.
That's right.
You see, this is what I was saying about the
You're
high
exactly
priest
right.
and the high priest to the pharaohs.
Right.
And so he had the pharaohs had the high priest, and the high priest is trying to control the masses.
That's right.
And you got this lunatic, as you said, going around telling people
everybody he's God.
that he's God.
Yeah.
The pharaoh said, "Hey, this guy can't go around saying he's got more power than me.
Right.
He's gonna take my control and take power from me. So we got to get rid of this guy."
So what do you believe? Do you believe which one would you take? Is he lying, crazy, or do you think he's who he said he was?
Well, I think he was born in the right family of Judaism.
Yeah.
In Judaism,
Yeah.
he was born from the right family.
Okay.
And so these things were written about.
Yeah.
Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I believe the people believe that,
But you don't think it was true?
Well, they believed it. Yeah, I think it.
Well, let me tell you what he said. Let me give you just the gospel message, okay? If what he said is true, he has a standard for us to live by. I'm gonna give you the good person test. How many lies have you told in your life?
God, that's so many.
I can't keep on mine.
I couldn't keep track.
Have you ever stolen something, even if it's small?
Yes.
Have you ever looked at someone with lust?
Yes.
Have you ever used God's name as a cuss word?
Yes.
So if the Bible is true, the Bible says that all man deserves punishment for their sin. He can't just let man go unpunished if he's a good judge. But this is what he did instead. He sent his son Jesus. Jesus came into a world. He took our blame. He took the punishment that we deserve. So all of the sin of the world went on Jesus. And God took the hell that we deserve and he crushed Jesus with it, which leaves us. The sin of all mankind has been completely paid for. So that means man can go straight to God through a relationship with Jesus, not a religion. And if you choose to turn from what you think is right is going to save you, the Bible says God will erase your debt on the day of judgment, but you must be willing to lay down your rights and what you believe and put your faith in Jesus. This is the whole message of the Bible. So the message of the Bible answers those 4 questions. One, it says where man came from. God created us. What's man's purpose? Is to give God glory. Why do you think the world is broken? Because man are sinful.
Right.
And then the fix is Jesus fixes the human heart, because man can't fix themselves, because all throughout ages man has tried to fix themselves and try to make themselves right, but nobody can fix it. Jesus is the only one that fixes the human heart. So think about this, Mr. Leonard. Man throughout all ages have been trying to correct their human behavior, but Jesus says nobody can. So me and you get up in a plane 10,000 feet in the air, Leonard, and I say you have to flap your arms to save yourself. You jump and you flap your arms as hard as you can to save yourself. It's not going to happen.
No.
Well, that's religion. That's why man keeps falling and hitting their face, right? Well, Jesus is the parachute. You don't have to try to flap your arms. The only thing you must do is just rely on the parachute, which is Jesus, and God changes the human heart. And that's what happened to me, Leonard. When I was breaking into people's houses, I was doing everything under the sun, cussing, messing with women, until God changed my human heart. And I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to be perfected.
Yeah.
This is the encounter that I had with Jesus, and I'm hoping that you at least consider studying the New Testament, the book of John. Just think about it, just read it and think through it, and see if it logically makes sense as far as just how Jesus was a human being. He came. And even the resurrection proves that Jesus was who he said he was. Nobody can disprove the resurrection. There's a bunch of theories, but nobody can find Jesus' body. All right, tell me what you think, Vlad. Speaking.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like I enjoy talking with you, and I like what you're doing, and I think it's good. There are people, the guidance that you provide, and the opportunity that you present to people.
Yes, sir.
I think that's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
I think you're considerate. You understand my position.
I understand your position. Yep.
And I look forward to us having a good relationship together.
I look forward to it. I love your spirit. Okay. I didn't realize you were. How old are you?
I'll be 81 in 19th November.
That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
You've been so blessed.
Yeah, I have been.
You've been so blessed.
Yeah.
You got any other comments about maybe what we talked about or anything else that?
Well, no, like I said, I like what you're doing, and you told me a little bit about your background, and I'm
Yes, sir.
proud of you.
Yes, sir.
I think that's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
And I love for people who turn their lives around, and,
Yes, sir.
and the way you did, and not only did you turn your life around, you're helping other people
Yes,
turn
sir.
their lives around.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
you know,
trying to.
right. So I admire you for that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.